welcome back to our listeners. We are so happy to be here because today we are going to interview Athena. I'm so happy to have her here. She's from SheCar, and I'm just can't wait to hear what she has to say. So, Athena, tell us a little bit about you and your business. I'm just can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Well, hi, Cindy, and thank you for inviting me today. It's such an honor to be on your show. Yes, I'm Athena. I founded SheCar a couple of years ago, technically in 2017, but we really didn't launch until 2018. I've always been in the car business. My dad was in the car business, so I kind of grew up around dealerships. And my first job was a greeter at a dealership in South Florida. And anyway, I've always felt really comfortable. So as I grew, friends who had to buy cars would be very nervous and very hesitant and not want to go. So I'd be like, I'll go. Let me come. So I would come and help them. Anyway, fast forward 30 years and a career in publishing later. And I was helping a friend and I realized I'm kind of good at this and I can see value to help women overcome their anxiety about buying a car. I mean, when I helped my friend Jackie get her car, I just felt like, I don't know, it felt good to see her so happy in what she wanted. And I helped her not spend more than she had to. So that night I was all pumped up and I thought I should do a business called SheCar. But again, I had another career. So I was just thinking as a hobby. And as I started thinking about it, people started telling me stories about how they or people they know had been taken advantage of. So when you hear some of these horror stories, and it's not only the people who can least afford to be taken advantage of, but it's also the people like us who, get suckered into a big fat lease and we're leasing a car for way longer than we should, and we're paying way more than we should. And we, end up having to either lose the lease or take a big hit. And then the dealers are just cycling through these cars and they're just making money after my. Anyway, not all dealers are bad, but there's a fair share. Anyway, long way of telling you how SheCar then evolved. So it evolved from an idea because of these horror stories. And I was having a martini with my sister, and she works with single parents and young mothers who are in some hardship. And she goes on the second martini, hey, let's put an E at the end of SheCar and start a charity. And so that's what I was like, click moment. There I had it, that we knew we had to make SheCar something special. So I started a charity, SheCare. It's a 501c3. And SheCare exists to help women who are overcoming hardship be given assistance with a car. And the way we fund that is through SheCar sales. So SheCar, for-profit company, but the fees involved with SheCar fund SheCare. So pre-COVID, we were able to give away a car to a young lady here. She happened to be in Orlando. Wonderful woman, really doing great. She was living in a homeless shelter, has children, and really needed a safe car. So we were able to coordinate with a customer of SheCar who donated their old car, and we were able to give it away. Anyway, you can see the local news coverage of that if you were interested in, kind of seeing how exciting that was. And then COVID hit. So we have more, cars in the works, but the biggie was that back in February of 2020.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm very amazed with everything. I mean, I love your story, how since little you were like kind of interested in cars and how you actually find your passion and see, oh, I can do this myself and I can help others. So now let me ask you, how important for you is to help women in this industry?
To help women in this industry?
Yeah.
It's more, to help women outside of this industry, because, for every instinct that we as women have when we do something like buy a car, I say generally in the car business, your instincts are spot on. You should be skeptical.
Mhm.
There's so much depth in this business, of so many hands in the pie, and there's so many products that are available to sell to you to make a profit.
Mhm.
So to be skeptical is warranted. Now with SheCar, so that's why when we designed it, it's not, I'm not, yes, I'm a used car dealer. And I'm proud of it. But, but, you know, everything that we do is completely transparent. So that makes it that now you as the shopper, as the customer, will see everything the dealer sees. So there's no surprises. The process is completely transparent, taken away all of the gook, all the gunk, that causes people to sit in the finance guy's office for 3 or 4 hours until they're just beaten down and they go ahead and finance with the dealership. Which is never, I mean, maybe it's a good idea for some, but generally I say get your own financing because dealers are going to just make a profit. You don't feel it, you don't know it necessarily, but that's coming right out of your pocket. So I think I've lost track of the question.
No worries, no worries. I mean, I love everything that you're doing. I mean, it's amazing. So why you don't share any experience that you had one that you help any lady selling a car? Do you have any experience to share? I mean, right now I know you just shared when someone on with your foundation when they won the car, but why you don't share experience like when you said in your business, oh, when she buy this car, I see this in her face, or what happened with the customer experience?
There's a lot of customers that come out of this process just elated. We call, so if you get a SheCar or you refer someone to a SheCar, you become a SheCar diva or a SheCar dude.
Oh,
And so a lot of people are just so proud to be a diva. Like I'll get, really, really nice reviews and messages after someone's gotten their car, how happy they are. And so, I mean, I have, a lot of stories and I hesitate to pick just one because they all kind of end the same way. Not to say everything is perfect. It's not. These are used cars, so we have to remember be mindful about that. But as far as I have, for example, people will want to trade in their car. So especially I feel happy when a woman says, okay, I need a new car, I have a trade-in. And I say, let me tell you how to handle your trade-in. Instead of selling it to a dealer who is always going to give you wholesale, let's try to buy your next car wholesale, so you save money, but sell your current car retail. So my joy comes, back to your question, is when I hear back that they were able to sell their car for more than what they would have gotten, one, in a trade, or two, if they had just called, there's a lot of companies out there now that sell, that will buy your car. You just put in the number and they come and they get it and they make it easy. But if you can, if they could come and give you, say, $9,000 for your car, but you can sell it on your own very easily, and make, say, $11,000 or $12,000, just extra couple $1,000 right in your pocket. So those are the stories that make me happy. So I know people are flipping into buying wholesale, selling retail. So even though they're selling to a private party, it's through private parties. So they're going to be able to sell their car for a little bit more. And on the receiving end, that other person is also going to, hopefully be getting a deal better than retail.
yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. And what it will be the best advice that you can give our community that it's hearing right now? I know there's a lot of struggles when it comes to buy a car. I mean, there's a lot of stories, at least we have a community and I hear stories, like you said, they're awful stories. And when it comes to auto repair, that it's where we focus to. But when they go to buy a car, I mean, I hear this lady a few days ago that she said, you know what? Every time that I go to the dealership, I just feel surrounded by sharks. I mean, I just go buy a car and I just feel that they are just around me trying to sell me something that I don't really want. So, what would be the best advice that you can give to the community when they are ready to buy a car?
One, get your financing in order before you start shopping. If you need financing, talk to a lender, talk to your credit union, your bank. And the first question to ask them is, will I be able to buy from whoever I want to buy from? So a trend, it seems like, is the big banks are saying you can only buy from one of our partners, or you can only buy from a big, franchise dealer, say Ford dealer or Porsche dealer. You want to be able to buy from whoever you want to buy from. So one, walk in prepared with your financing and know what you're comfortable for your total amount to be. have that set up. That's the biggest. The second is stick to your desires. If you definitely go, you know what, I just don't want a silver car. And then they present you with this silver car that's perfect in every way except it's the wrong color. Well, you know what? If there's a silver one, there's another one in the colors that you want. You know, it sounds, so people say, well, I'm sorry. And, you know, I'd like heated seats, but it's not necessary. You know what? You live in Minnesota. You're going to get heated seats. You're not going to get your car that doesn't have any heated seats. So essentially, don't compromise. You know, just don't compromise. You want certain things, don't apologize for it and stick to it. And we will find you that car with the right configuration that is going to make you happy. Don't compromise. So financing, don't compromise. And you know, be kind, but do know that salespeople do need to make sales. And a lot of times salespeople are totally not even aware of all of the way wholesaling works. That's a whole nother side of the business. So don't blame them for trying to make a sale, but be mindful that they're trying to make a sale and they have to make a sale. So they're going to push as hard as they can until they get you to sign. So be super, I just say, you know, just be true to yourself first, kind, ready to walk. And, you know, you go into a dealership and they make you feel like you're their best friend. I've never seen a better customer than you. And everything, you know, is just, you just want to please then that person because they're being, you know, generally if they're trying for your business, but really you're there for your own, you know, fulfill your own needs. So stick to your guns, have your financing, stick to your guns, be prepared to walk away pleasantly, you know.
Yeah.
I hope that helps a little bit.
Yeah, those are amazing advice. I mean, I love it. And now, you know, right now the automotive industry is like kind of changing with all this pandemic. I mean, right now dealerships are kind of closed and a lot of people now is experiencing this buy online, a car online. And I know you do that. How we can explain the different experience between going to a dealership like physically or this experience of buying a car online?
Well, I guess going to a dealership would be like walking on a bed of nails, and buying online would be like sitting in a comfy chair and, you know, having a cup of tea. So there's a big, I mean, you know, there's not comparison. So sometimes the biggest question people have is, well, I'm not going to be able to drive the car. I can't physically see the car. And so I recommend, if you're not sure what you want, make sure that you've gone and driven what it is you're looking at buying. So saying, you know, I've always wanted a Kia Sorento. I've never driven one, but I really want one. Well, go drive one because they're all going to drive about the same. Also, when we buy cars, either in person or at auction or at a dealership, these cars come with a level of guarantee. You know, we can always guarantee the engine, electrical, transmission. If you were to get the car and anything of those go wrong, we simply send the car back and refund all of, you know, your money. That doesn't happen often because we're going to be mindful about our search, right? We're only going to look for cars that have met certain criteria. You know, I've found a lot of people want just a cheap car, but then they'll say, but it has, you know, cheap, reliable car. Well, you got to find the balance. You know, there are no great cars for $2,500 that are going to last you, you know, for the next 6 years without a lot of maintenance. Which, you know, I really want to circle back to maintenance because that's a big thing when people buy a used car and they're getting a great deal. And, you know, the fact is it's a used car and they need people like your company to make sure that car is maintained. And I tell people, you know, if you want an extended warranty, well, you know what, if you take care of your car, I think, and now this is where I would love your advice, because I think if you're mindful with your maintenance of your car, it will last a long time. When you get a used car, take it right to your mechanic, have it evaluated, and whatever they say needs done, have it done. Get it up to standard where you want it, and then maintain. Save the money that you're going to spend on an expensive warranty and just maintain your car. Am I wrong? What do you think? And truly, it's okay if I'm wrong. I want to know.
No. Definitely no, you're not wrong. What is happening here, and one of the things that I really want to share now that you touched this point is, like, you know, sometimes we think that, okay, the car can last certain time, but if you actually do the maintenance on time that you're saying, and you do everything that your car really needs. I mean, your car is gonna last longer, obviously, but a lot of times, it's something really, really funny is that we have our repair shop. So a lot of repairs that it comes to the shop, there are repairs. It's very big difference between maintenance and repair. They're two
Ah,
different things. So a lot of times, because we skipped so many maintenance in our car, now we have to fix something big. So that when it comes to, I mean, obviously a maintenance, it can be like a certain amount of money. Let's just share this about a customer that we had. She bought a brand new car. It was a beautiful car. It was, I think it was a Corvette, red Corvette. I
ah,
mean, it was really nice car. But she thought because it was brand new car, she didn't have to do her oil change often. Okay.
mm,
So for the first year of her brand new car, she never did an oil change. So a year after, she was freaking out, calling every dealership. The dealership didn't want to do anything to her car because she avoided the warranty because she didn't do the maintenance. First. Second, she was calling
mm.
different repair shops to see because her car was not turning on. So she gave us a call and she's like, you know what? I don't know what's going on with my car. Can you guys help me? No one wants to help me. Not even the dealership wants to help me. So she brought her car in, and my husband started checking her car and noticed that the oil inside her car was burnt out, like totally, because she never changed it. So there was no
After
oil.
1 year though?
After
Wow.
1 year, I mean, it was really, really, because we told her, why you didn't do your oil change? I mean, you run your car, but you never did your oil change. And she's like, because I thought it was a brand new car. So I thought it didn't need the oil change that often. And she used her car a lot. She drives a lot. So what happened that at $20, or maybe, I mean, it was a brand new car. It can be like almost let's say $60 for an oil change for that car. Now that $60 that will maybe what, every 3 months, every 2 months. Now that multiplies for a 2000 engine that she have to
Oh,
replace. So now maintenance is one
wow.
thing, repair it's another thing, but it's because a lot of customers they skip their maintenance. Now another thing is start, I mean,
I gotta write
happening.
that down.
Another thing start happening on their car. So that I always said my community, my ladies car care community is like, please be mindful of doing your maintenance in your car. There's little things that you just have to do. I mean, you have your manual in your car. It's telling you have to do this maintenance every 1,000 miles, 90,000 miles, 120,000 miles. And that's one of the reasons that we did our car maintenance planner. That I see you have it right there. I love it. That was
I
the
do. I love it. It's excellent.
yeah, that was the main reason why we did this, to help our community. Just because, you know I know we're busy. I mean, we're a lot of us are moms. We have so many things to do. So the last thing that is in our heads is taking our car for maintenance.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I always focus is, hey, if you know you're gonna forget, just write it down and have it in your glove box. And you mentioned something right now that they when they sell their used car, I mean, if you have a record of that you're doing your maintenance on time, and you have it record in a place that you can show the new person that is going to buy it. They said, you know what, I've been doing my maintenance on time. Here is all the record. Your car will worth more.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Yeah, and it will give more value to your car when you have a record like that.
So I have a question for you. So, you assume Carfax will have all the maintenance records on a car. So at what point is a repair shop, or, maintenance versus repair, but is it always recorded? Should we look to a Carfax, or should we, is it up to us with our record to keep those records? Is it up to us, or is there really a way to find out the history on a car for real?
You know what? It all depends. Because if you go to dealerships, and depending on the system that they use to storage the record information, it will go to the system. but not all the repair shops have that system in place. So
Oh.
there is
There's
different.
no legality, there's no like regulation that says you have to log this repair and have
Yeah,
record of it.
obviously there are regulations where you have to storage their information on place. You have to give them certain papers to the customer before we actually fix their car. But not every repair shop have that, because it's not an obligation to say, hey, you have to have this system where you have to record all this information, because there is a database where all the systems are connected and all the information goes there. That's why when you go to Carfax, you can actually see the information, but not all the repair shops have the same thing. So yeah, actually we can see, I mean, sometimes we see, oh, okay, I can actually look for what was the last maintenance that they did, and sometimes it's not updated. Sometimes it's like
Gotcha.
years, that what happened in those between years and those gaps, we don't know, because not all the repair shops have that. So that's why it's, yeah, I mean, it's good because a lot of cars, they do have that history, but what if you have it on hand? It said,
Yeah,
hey, you know
no,
what?
absolutely,
I have
absolutely.
every
That's
single
why you have
invoice.
to have it on hand, right?
Yeah.
Is because it's, you can't rely on
Hmm.
on any database to be accurate.
Yes.
Okay, that is
Yes.
great.
So what we think, what we tell our customers in our community is always keep, at least for the past year, every invoice that the repair shops or dealerships are giving you for the maintenance. So you have a record in there. And if you have a, I mean, a car maintenance planner, so even a notebook that you can write down with date, you know what, I went and did this type of maintenance to my car, and I did it this time, it cost me this, and you have just tracking all the information. I mean, that will help you, and it will give value to your car. And if in case you want to sell it to buy a new car, obviously it will worth more
Oh,
than,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And the more cars I sell, the more I see the value of that.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yep.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. So I mean, this is so valuable. I mean, I think a lot of people, we take advantage of this to, I mean, all these questions, because I know there's a lot of questions out there, because I know I see, I sometimes I go to different forums just to kind of see what questions people have, and there is so much needed information, especially for women though, especially for women, that they are very lack of confidence to actually go to the repair shops or dealerships. So now let me ask you, where they
Hmm.
can find, do you have a place where they can find information, or maybe blogs that you have with information that you're giving to when they're ready to buy a car?
Um, the website, shecar.com, has a lot of information there. It has somewhere our blogs are. We try to do, regular postings on Instagram, SheCar Inc., and Facebook, SheCar Inc. So, and what I'd like to do, and appropriate or not on this forum, but I would love to partner with you for some of those blogs. What the work you're doing is absolutely incredible, and I think should go nationwide. Um, you know, Women feel nervous buying a car. So hopefully I'm helping solve that. And not only women, but men. I actually
Yeah.
have probably now close to 40% of my clients are men. And it's pretty funny. I think one person said, "Oh, I think you should change your name," and I thought, no, to what?
He,
No, it's
car, he
SheCar.
car.
It's always going to be SheCar, and you're welcome to I'm not excluding you, but it's SheCar. Um, but oh, I'm sorry. I totally lost my train of thought there. You're gonna have to edit that out.
No worries, no worries, no worries. I mean, yeah, but I mean, you know what? I mean, it's amazing because if we can partner up, I mean, and I would love
Yeah.
to. I would love to. I mean, I'm very, very passionate of pairing sources, and this is one of the main points of why I'm doing this show, the Ladies Car Care Show, because I want to bring tools and sources for all this community that's actually seeking for information. I
I
know,
need it.
I mean, on internet, on Google, there is so much information, but there's a lot of things that are not actually correct as well.
Right,
So,
right.
so they want, I mean, I just want to create a safe space where they can come and say, oh, okay, I know this information is real, and this is what I can actually grab and say, okay, I'm going to keep this information for myself. So yeah, I
Yes.
love that.
Well said. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd
Yeah.
love to, because a lot of times people buy a used car, and they get it. And again, it would be nice to, I was thinking about this, adding to, when you buy a car, I put together a sheet that summarizes itemizes every expense that would be associated with it. And what I'd like to do, and I'd love your thoughts on this, is expected annual expense for this year, make, and model. Is that something that is reasonable, that you think that is, if you Google that, what's the estimated annual expense to maintain a 2017 Toyota Corolla? And usually Google will pop up with one number. What are your thoughts on that? Is that something that would be a reasonable, kind of prediction? Everyone wants a crystal ball, right? You want to be able to say, well, I'm going to buy this car, but what's going to happen? Well, as hard as I try, I can't tell you what's going to happen. But would that be helpful, you think, to prepare people to start that? So I'm going to educate them. I'm going to, create a transparent environment for the car buying process. But would that help set the tone for maintenance?
Yeah, and actually that's one of the things that we add in our car maintenance planner. There's three things in a specific, that there are three tools inside the car maintenance planner that we have. And it's one of the things is we have to know what type of maintenance our car needs by time and by mileage. So obviously it won't be like an exact price, but it will be an average price, so people have an idea that, oh, okay, this is what I'm going to expend in the first year, for example. And all depends on how much the people drive. Because right now, let's say right now with all the people having the Uber thing and they're working from their cars, they drive a lot. But if it's like an average people that doesn't actually drive a lot, there's an average that you can say, okay, you know what, I maybe spend this amount of mileage every year. So now you can see, oh, okay, you know what, this is we have a list of maintenance that your car need by mileage. That is every 60,000 mileage, every 90, 120. And we have a list of that on the car maintenance planner. That is one part of the thing.
And is that common per year, make, and model? Is there kind of sort of a standard?
There's a standards for that. Obviously every car is different, but there's a standards for cars, and that's what we add in there.
I'm going to pull, that's in the book. I have to pull that out. And
yeah, that's on the book. And the other thing is, okay, you know what, I have an old car and I really want to start doing my maintenance and I don't even know how to start. Well, that's another thing. We have a list in there for prices. And that's like, it's not, obviously in every state is different, but we have an average price that said, oh, you know what, I know when I hit this amount of mileage, I need to do this service. And I don't even know how much is that. Well, we give you a list of prices so you can actually grab those prices and have an idea how much money you're going to spend in the next year.
I love it. Right.
Yeah, that's the second part.
Great value.
Yeah, and the third one that I would recommend, it's something that I have there that it calls Seeking Founds. Seeking Founds is just a sheet where you can actually write yourself and start saving money ahead of time, because you already know when is the service, you know already how much is going to around how much is going to cost you. So there's a lot of times it's like, oh no, I have to do my brakes and I don't have the money to do it, so you skipped it. So now with the Seeking Found is you start, oh, okay, you already know that I'm going to spend, I don't know, let's say $500 and the rest in the next 6 months. Okay, what about if I break down those $500 and I know that I'm going to do, I need to spend that for my maintenance. So I'm going to grab every month, I don't know, $80 or $100. So the Seeking Found is you would write it down and put the money in an envelope and just put it there. So I think those three pieces are key for what are you asking me?
I think so too. Yes, perfect. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Boy, together we can really conquer the world here and do some good, right? I mean, we're perfect together.
Yay. Yeah, I mean, I would love to. So I mean, I've been loving this. So one last thing to ask you. What is your favorite car, Athena? I know you see so many cars in here. You sell so many cars, but Athena, your car. What was your favorite car since when you were little? It changed with the time, or what is your favorite car now?
Oh my gosh, impossible question. Impossible. First of all, impossible. But my most memorable and it wasn't mine, it was my dad's. So my dad had 3 girls. I was the youngest of 3, and a car. He always had a collector car, like just a car for him to have fun with. So the last one he had was a 63 split window Corvette coupe.
Oh,
And it's very rare, and he was his pride and joy. He loved it. And at some point, he sold it. Well, oh, it was actually when the family moved to Florida from Maine, and he sold that 63 split window Corvette coupe and bought a boat. So I never got to drive it, the car. I was too young. And I would do anything to have that car today.
aw.
The irony is, he sold that car, bought a boat, and then I went out on the boat with some friends, and we ended up sinking the boat.
Oh no.
So what I would do to return that to that, and redo that time and keep the car and forget the boat, I would do. So that would be my, classic car, the Corvette split window coupe, 63. And then, it's so hard. I am so eclectic in my taste, from a manual transmission, old Jeep Wrangler, to everything, Porsche Cayenne, Tesla, all of it. I don't know. I am embarrassed. I just don't have a perfect answer for you. It's so hard to have a favorite.
Yeah, when we are like
I
around
do
so
get
many
obsessed
cars.
though. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
No,
I
it's
do get
okay.
obsessed with certain cars, like I can look at, what's currently being delivering. I've got some spectacular F-150s are amazing. Yeah, I get obsessed with certain cars. And you
That's
know it, I'll put it on social media when I'm obsessed. I'm like, oh my God, I wish this was mine. I have to give it away to someone.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, and sometimes we got some customers in that repair shop that they don't want to invest more money on the car, so they just trying to sell it and get money. I mean, whatever money they can get. So sometimes we buy cars. We buy cars sometimes, not all the time, but when the customer is like, what, just take it, see if you can sell it.
Yeah.
We buy cars and my husband fix them. And
Mm.
sometimes he's like, what? I buy this car. Let's keep it for amount of time, and then we just sell it. And sometimes I don't want to sell some cars. Some cars like, can we keep this one, please? And he's like, no, we already have our car. But I mean, I think that happens to us when we are on this. I mean, we're surrounded with different cars. Sometimes we're like, oh, right now I'm obsessed with the Mercedes Sprinter. I mean, I'm like, oh,
Oh, yes, you are. You.
I mean, I'm like, and my husband is like, because I'm 5'2", I'm very short. My husband is 6'3", so he's
Oh
really
my
tall.
God.
So he's like, imagine how you're gonna look yourself like you're like small driving that thing that is huge. And I'm like, why not? I mean, I can see myself.
Yeah, girl, you go. Absolutely. The bigger, the better. I'm going to put my big hoop, fancy earrings on.
I just love it. And yeah, but so, I mean, someday we're gonna, I know we're gonna get it soon. And my husband's like, what, we have to go camping and we can add all these things. So I'm a dream girl. I dream a lot with cars and all that. But
Well,
definitely,
let's find you one. I did look the other day, and we're going to find you one. Boy, they range though. Those Sprinters, there was a beautiful one. It was $190,000.
yeah, I mean, we can find something. But for now, the time is running out. So I was so happy to have you today. I mean, I really enjoy our conversation today. I think we learned a lot from you. And I just want to tell our listeners, hey, if you want to know more about what Athena is doing, just go on her website. That is SheCar.com. And if you want to find out more about her foundation as well, that is another, we have to do another part of the show just talking about your foundation, because I think
Oh,
that's
thank you. I would
amazing as
love that.
well. So if you want to find more information about her, please just go ahead and visit her website, because I know she have a lot of good information there. And remember, if you want to get our car maintenance plan, just go to our website as well, ladiescarcare.com, because I believe this will be very helpful for you. So I hope you enjoyed this time with us today, Athena. Something else that you want to say bye to our audience?
Oh, we just, thank you, Cindy, for putting this together. And thank you for all you're doing to help women feel more confident as well. So, let's just keep up the good fight. And I'm just looking forward to more conversations with you.
Oh, Oh, thank you. Thank you. It was so nice to have you. So please wait to the next episode next time, because we are going to have a more amazing guest like Athena today that will bring us a lot of sources and information. So have a wonderful day, everyone, and see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Ladies Car Care Talk Show. For more resources from Cindy or to join the Ladies Car Care Facebook community, you can follow the links in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening and share with your friends.